with it. Hey, remember?
Hello, hello, hello. It is Wednesday and it's time for Pop and Politics. We are talking about the latest in hot topics, news, and entertainment. I'm KJ, and as you can see, or I'm not sure you can see yet. Yes. We have,
you guys.
yes, we have hit 50,000 subscribers.
Period. Yes.
So we want to thank each and every one of you. Thank you for all of your subs and your comments and your shares and your likes. Thank you for it all. We're at 50,000. It's just the beginning. Our goal is to hit 100,000 by the end of the year. So we know that's a big goal. We want you guys with us, our community, to help us with that. So please share, comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. All five of us are here tonight, so let me introduce you to my co-hosts. Of course, I'm KJ. We have Crystal, we have Yana, T, and Shelly E.
Hi, everybody.
All right. So as always say, join the conversation by leaving a comment on YouTube or Twitter. We will check the comments periodically throughout the show. And don't just comment, subscribe. If you miss us on YouTube, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We're also on Rumble. We are an independent media, and each time you support, each time you subscribe, each time you donate, it helps to make our voice that much stronger. We love our super chatters. So thank you so much for you guys that super chat with us. You know, this is not just a podcast. It is a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people. This is urgent times. We all have targets on our backs because we love freedom. And so that's why it's important to support podcasts like ours, movements like ours, to give a rallying cry and make our rallying cry even louder. So with all that said, ladies, let's set it off.
Let's go.
All right. So we're going to start off tonight with the House vote on TikTok. So the House voted overwhelmingly to pass legislation that will force TikTok to separate itself from its parent company in China or be banned in the United States. A major step toward a crackdown motivated by fears that the popular social media company could be used for spying or manipulation by the Chinese Communist Party, also called CCP. So this was breaking news out this week. I want to get your thoughts on this, Shelly. I mean, is this a good thing, a bad thing? What are your thoughts?
I don't know. Well, I'll say this. I don't know personally if it's a good thing, but I do know I think it's bad in the sense that I think it goes against our First Amendment, in that our U.S. government, our legislatures are now determining for Americans 18 and over, certainly for their children, what they can watch or participate in via the internet or social media. I'm not even advocating for TikTok necessarily, but I am advocating for our Constitution, which, if I recall right here correctly, our First Amendment says Congress shall make no law establishing a religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech. So that is my concern. If we talk about, as Republicans and conservatives, of getting back to the Constitution, then that means we have to get back to it, even when it may not necessarily look like it benefits us.
Sure. Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this, Crystal. I mean, it sort of follows along the lines of Congress. For a while, they were different states had banned the CCP from buying farmland. There was a big issue with them buying farmland. They said it was a security risk. Now they're trying to present this is a security risk too. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, and I feel like the two are vastly different. Buying farmland versus like being able to participate in free market capital, which is what we as a constitution, in our constitution, as just Shelley just read. I'm having an issue with Congress not figuring out what they need to do.
Right.
Like, you got plenty of other things to work on. Like, all y'all folks, your schools are crap, your cities are dangerous, like everything is wrong. And then this is the thing that we choose to focus on. Now, mind you, they're trying to pin it as a national security. Now, China has come out and said, mind you, I don't believe anything that they said, but they've come out and said that all the security issues that were there, they have been addressed.
Okay.
However, I think that the biggest issue is we as a people, we cannot restrict what China. Okay, let me say this and I'll hurry up, you guys. Like, it is not helpful to us to make the largest market share in the world our enemy just because. Like, China is over 1 billion people. Like, it.
So are you saying
it is
China's
okay to
not
play
an
nice
enemy?
with us?
China's not an enemy?
I believe that China is not an enemy in the way that we think that it is.
Okay. Oh, I want to get your thoughts on this. I'll go with you, T. Before you start, I want to talk to you about the privacy policy for TikTok. So besides the information you give them when you create an account, name, age, username, password, language, email, phone number, social media account information, and profile image that are concerning, this information also includes location data from your clipboard, contact information, website trafficking, plus all data you post and messages you send through the app. They also collect GPS information from users. There's speculation that TikTok is also collecting other information, GPS data, where they can access, where you live and things like that. I mean, does this matter to you, or is this an issue?
Absolutely. As someone who is a very discreet person with my information, I could live off the grid. So I'm like, I don't want these people having my information. I don't want them knowing where I am. I mean, not that I think I'm that important for them to be like, okay, Taria or T is the person that's doing this and doing that. But no, I don't. It's invasion of privacy. We shouldn't have the enemy looking having our information or access to our information.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on this, Yana? I mean, you're from Russia. You have a communist state. I mean, well, not communist. Used to be communist, not a communist state anymore. Right. But sort of like a state that has a lot of laws and dictatorships. The government has a strong hand on things like this. I mean, is this something we need to worry about, or should Congress stay out of it?
I'm fine with it. So, first of all, the U.S. have banned Russian social media sites very quietly. Nobody talked about it. And not because I don't think they were spying, because it was mostly Russians that were on it, like talking to each other. It was like a Facebook. If TikTok is such a great platform, we can make one. I mean, I'm all about creating our own that is better. I mean, that's how Russia responded whenever things were banned or there were sanctions put on, like YouTube in Russia, and they were saying, you know what, their own government said, like, we shouldn't be, I don't know. I think they're still using YouTube, but they basically said, let's create something better than YouTube. So
you don't have to ban it to do that. Like, you don't.
You can just not use it. Americans can just not use it.
I get it, but I mean, at this point, I don't know. Maybe I'm totalitarian, but you know what? I'm okay with it.
I've been saying that.
I wouldn't trust the Chinese.
Right, exactly.
That's fine.
Right.
Something you said, KJ, you were reading the data. First of all, those things that are collected by every social media that we're on.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No,
Every piece of social media that we go on collects that information.
I don't want them to have it either.
Not only that, when we go to the stores,
That's it.
I don't know how many,
That's
how
not
many of
true.
us, we buy Chinese goods left and right for whatever
That's not
reason.
the same
Good, bad,
thing.
that's your preference. The fact is that even when you make any electronic transaction in the store, your receipts and your electronic transactions can be matched up to every item that you purchase online, in the store, whatever.
Don't use cash.
Facebook, Google,
It's not the same.
whatever other social medias, they have that information
It's
and
not.
more.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, yes, they do.
And in China's 2017 national, no, it doesn't. You're
They do.
dead
They do.
wrong. So
They
you're
do. No, I'm not.
And
No, I'm not.
one thing when we talk
No,
about
I'm not.
this, we're not cybersecurity specialists. So we, it is a little naivete
No, it's not.
in regarding this subject, but it's definitely not the same. China's 2007 National Intelligence Law, which compels private entities and individuals to cooperate with state intelligence work, has again, the same thing. China's 2017 cybersecurity law, broadly written, provides a low threshold for access to data by the state. So they updated in United States, companies within United States have not bans, but policies in place to say that this data that is collected must not be transmitted in certain ways. If you read, anytime you acknowledge something you download on your Apple, you can laugh, but I mean, I would love for someone in cybersecurity or software engineer or something like that to talk about this. Your naivete is really,
I don't think
it's really embarrassing. It's really embarrassing.
It's not that we're laughing, KJ. What we are saying is,
And
is
you're
that
sitting here saying China's not an adversary.
not in the way that propaganda has told us they are.
Now-
that is not
But
true.
social
Because
media-
if they were, why would they even allow TikTok to even be a thing here?
Let me say
it's
something.
not in their
So,
country. They don't.
have you heard that the content that's on TikTok is different? That's
Oh,
in
and
China,
whose fault is that?
No.
Oh, wow. That
That's what
China
they're trying
cares
to
enough
fix.
about their people to
Exactly.
not poison their people
And you
poison
just
ours. And
said,
that's
you
China's
just
fault.
said that but you just said they're not the enemy.
That's China's fault.
No, so I'm asking you, I would say,
Or is it our corrupt government institutions' fault?
So,
And that's what I was about to say.
is why do we as Americans, as freedom-loving constitutional Americans, why do we think it's good to give up our power to the government to be our
want
parents
them
and
to have it
fathers?
any-
They don't get to decide. I'm not advocating for TikTok.
Exactly.
I'm just
What
saying,
I don't
is so
have it.
good about TikTok that
what
we
is so
gotta
good about the government
fight
dictating
for?
to us what we can watch? Or what
Well,
we
the
can
question is, the
I mean, if
Constitution.
you really want it, there's a way to get whatever you need to get. You can get VPN on your computer and you can access anything you want.
Maybe
If you
so,
really
but
want
why do we need the government to be involved in it?
That's the part.
Because the government has a responsibility of protecting
Safety.
their
And national
Government
security.
is corrupt,
No,
you guys. There is no rule of law. You can read to me every single law that you have on there, KJ. There is no rule of law, and when your lawmakers are corrupt, and so they could say, "Oh, we're not tracking you. Oh, the law says that the institutions can't have this information." They track it.
They track
Commit
everything.
a crime, y'all,
But you
and
believe
see
that.
how much they don't
You
track.
believe that China has passed all of the laws to protect themselves? Oh, we're not doing anything wrong.
No, no,
This
I
is-
don't care about
this is us.
China. I don't care about China. I care about America.
I'm
And
saying-
our government
No, you don't.
is corrupt.
You don't care
And
about
why
Why
American
do we need
national
TikTok
security.
If you care
Okay.
about America, like
And
right.
TikTok is a threat.
Right.
TikTok is the measure of whether or not you care about America.
No,
that's no.
Because we're
But that's
talking about
think it's
security.
the
We're talking about national security. So the question is whether the government has a compelling national security interest at stake.
They have a compelling national security interest to not have our children getting dragged in school and half of them can't read and write and not doping them up with drugs and stuff. Yes, they have a national security interest at the border. Screw you. If you think TikTok we got 99 problems and TikTok ain't one. Period.
Well, we will end on that. Again,
Gotta start somewhere.
And just
yeah,
for,
you
just
do
for
have to
note,
start somewhere.
just for note,
don't want-
everything, I'm saying everything, but some of the stuff you read, everything that we are doing online, they can monitor and know exactly who, where we
No,
are.
I'm not saying
Every
that.
piece
I don't
of
want them
data
to
is
know that
connected.
either.
No, not
Nobody.
talking about just TikTok. YouTube, Facebook, all of them.
It's- I mean,
Twitter.
Are
why
they
do you
trying
think they
to-
have this information? They collect it and they aggregate it. and
different
they use
ways
it
that
to
they collect
advertise
it, though.
But they collect it though. They still
they're
know.
not
it's not the
trying to-
same information. They don't
Okay.
collect. They don't.
Okay.
They don't collect GPS
You
locations.
think so? You think so?
know,
You think they don't? What you got in your car? And you think that's all not connected to social
It's
media?
not the same thing as this social media stuff that we're
KJ,
talking
in any
about.
GPS car,
Again,
you can
you
connect
don't.
social
Again,
media to it, and it will. Yes, they do.
Okay.
Yes, they can.
All right.
know.
Well,
yes, they can know.
would love for someone who is in cybersecurity or software engineering to comment on this. Someone who's subject matter expert. We are not. We
No,
do
okay.
scream
And
and
half
have.
of them
I don't have to be an
Excuse-
expert to know this.
Can I finish?
Yes,
Can I finish?
Yes, go.
I mean, God.
This is
like,
real life.
All right.
50K
Yeah,
subscribers,
so-
everyone. Thank you.
So again, we would love to have someone reach out to us and talk about it and give us some additional information. So moving right along, we're talking about Haiti. So talking about security and security interests within our country. We're talking about Haiti and the border crisis. So Haitian Prime Minister Ariel Henry has announced his resignation upon the selection of an interim replacement from a new presidential council that will determine the country's leadership amid the deteriorating security situation in the country. So in recent weeks, gangs have shut down Haiti's 2 international airports, freed more than 4,000 inmates from 2 of the country's biggest prisons, and carried out violent attacks in the capital. The gangs have demanded Henry's resignation, but it's unclear if they will support the plan for transnational council to appoint an interim prime minister and a council of ministers. Take a look at this. This is clip number 1.
What's the difference between Haiti and a failed state? It's telling, right? We can't really identify them because the gangs are in charge. The government has been thrown out. And as a Florida man, I'm deeply concerned about this wave of people that we're about to have, that we are having, coming from Haiti, and it will accelerate. Because I've gone to Opelika and I've spent time with the folks that are engaged in Operation Vigilant Sentry, and they say the #1 push factor that drives these Haitians into Broward County, Palm Beach County, where they don't disperse throughout the country. They stay in Southeast Florida. That driving factor is the deterioration of conditions in Haiti. So what are we doing to prepare for that wave?
All right. So we are back. We're having some technical difficulties here. Maybe it's China.
We all know.
But anyway, so we are moving right along to this. So you can see this is a major issue. Matt Gaetz is talking about it. DeSantis even pushed back against it because the border in Florida is right where, Haiti is. And so he's like, I love DeSantis. He is not playing around, and he's already come out. Maybe you guys may be against this because it might be government overreach. But he's come out and said for quite some time, the state of Florida has been dedicating significant resources to combat illegal vessels coming to Florida from countries such as Haiti. Given the circumstances in Haiti, I have directed the Division of Emergency Management, the Florida State Guard, state law enforcement agencies to deploy over 250 additional officers and soldiers to protect the border. I mean, no state, he says, has done more to supplement the U.S. Coast Guard's interdiction efforts. We cannot have illegal aliens coming to Florida. Shelley, what are your thoughts on this Haitian issue?
Yeah, part of the government's job is to protect the border, so that's
and
very
national
well
security.
That's very well
national
within
security.
their parameters. Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do.
National
so
security
I'm not a
as
subject
well.
matter expert on that either, but that.
Well, we understand that. We know that as well.
So
the way you speak about it.
I am for DeSantis protecting the border of Florida, which is a part of the USA. The last time I checked, one of our states. So the thing about Haiti is these gangs. They are, of course, they are running out literally their leadership. But I'm going to couch that to say they really have not had a stable country and leadership for a long time. Haiti, if I my little research, they are the poorest country in Latin America. I don't know what they export, but they seem to export violence and gangs and poverty. That's the best that I can sum it up.
All right. What are your thoughts on this, Crystal?
Oh man, okay. So I'm torn on this, right? Like,
why?
I'm torn because I feel really bad for Haitians. I feel like they have just gotten a bad deal. It's such a beautiful country, and I've heard how like rich it is in natural resources and scenery. However, they cannot seem to get their leadership together. And I think that to call the people who have taken it over thugs, I'm a little careful to do that because what people are not talking about is the person that was their prime minister before was assassinated, and they were supposed to have elections, but foreign leaders put this guy Ariel in as their as their prime minister, and the people rejected him, and they kept saying we need elections, and they wouldn't hold them, and so the people just got fed up, and so now everybody's trying to create propaganda, because that's what we are. These thugs and these gangs are taking over. I don't feel right about saying that. I guess my prayers is for that shithole country.
All right, I want to get your thoughts on this, Yana. I mean, recently this week, they came out with video of one of these, and I'll be bold enough to say it, thugs eating a human being. He was a cannibal. I mean,
Mr.
what are your thoughts on
Barbecue.
this? I mean, Mr. Barbecue, he's the leader of this gang. You know, if you don't want to call him a thug, I'd call him a cannibal. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I have to say that whatever Democrats / globalists touch it fails.
Yep.
So Haiti had that horrible earthquake in 2010. And what happened after that is that the Clintons, they took hold of the country.
Yep.
They allowed all sorts of so-called charities go there. And one of the things that they did is that they destroyed, the biggest thing that they did is destroy the economy of Haiti.
Yeah.
So Bill Clinton apologized to Haiti at some point for destroying their rice industry by sending ridiculous amounts of rice there.
Yeah.
So these charities, they would just go there and live off of donations. You know, their salaries were paid by global organizations, but Haiti itself was just poor and it was not developing. So that, I mean, whatever they touch, Democrats / globalists, it goes to shit. And like Crystal said, they didn't allow people to create their own fate, their own destiny, and it's obvious. I mean, it's clear what is going to happen, and eventually people are going to rise up, and not the best people
Yeah.
are going to be
What
in
are your
power.
thoughts on this situation?
Well, considering I have Haitian roots to go way, 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 way back, ça passe.
Hey, ça passe ou balai.
So, Haitians have always been fighters. They've always been historically they're revolutionists. So, for them to want, as Crystal said, want to take their country back because they didn't have an election, they don't have what they're used to. And Clintons, as Yana says, America has been dipping their little pinky toes or whole legs into Haitians' business, and that's why it's like that. So, of course, to me, it's an innate ability or quality for them to fight back and want their country back. The cannibals, that's one person, but you gotta look at it as a total system, a total country, and they're just fighting for their country.
And that's a cultural thing too, because it's not just Haiti. A lot of and it comes from African roots. Let's tell the truth, y'all. Is the whole obeah and the voodoo and stuff like that. So when you start to see those types of things, like it's not indicative of everybody there. What I will say, and my shameless plug for Donald Trump, this is what happens when no daddy is home. Mm-hmm. This is in our Western hemisphere, happening right in our backyard, and they didn't feel confident enough with us because we have a geriatric president in the White House that does not know how to squash beefs. And so this should not have happened under our leadership, and this is what's happening all around the globe.
But it goes long back though. This is before Biden.
It didn't happen.
No.
It didn't happen in 2016.
They have rebels and revolutionaries for decades off and on. They have. And I think Jan, I'm not sure who, y'all, KJ, one of you, mentioned about the foreign aid, right? Mm-hmm. So foreign aid, largely, they call it developmental aid, different titles they give it. It doesn't just mean money, but interestingly enough is that when the U.S. gives, quote unquote, foreign aid, our taxpayer money, it really doesn't work. It usually does not work. Mm-hmm. Dambisa Moyo, she's an African, but she's here in America. She wrote a book a few years ago, which I read. It's called Dead Aid. Now, she was talking about aid in Africa, but her principal theory was that anytime there's U.S. aid or foreign aid to a lot of countries, if not all of them, that it does not work. And yet we keep pouring more and more money, more and more aid, and things never get better. So I'll call them thugs too. Cannibals. murderers, whatever you want to call it. I don't think they really want, they might want their country, but what they ultimately want is power. And the people, just like some
Why
of the
wouldn't
people,
they?
just some of the people in Gaza, or as Sonny Hostin says, Gaza. As, you know, some of those people, again, the innocent people, they don't get the quote unquote aid. They get more and more tyranny, more and more beat downs, more and more poverty, losing their loved ones, while the thugs, the robbers, the murderers gain more and more power and control over their lives.
I mean,
So let
it's
me ask you,
basically-
let me, because I want, we do have to move on, but you know, how does this affect us here in America? I mean, we already have a terrible, horrible border crisis going on right here, and now we're about to see an influx of additional illegal come across the Florida border. And I mentioned Governor Ron DeSantis was already addressing it, but I mean, you know, this is a major issue. It states here, Governor DeSantis ordered state resources today to block the possible newcomers. The governor also sued the Biden administration over its relaxed border policies, helped send illegal immigrants from the border to sanctuary states, and passed a law that makes it harder for illegal immigrants to work in Florida. I actually have been hearing about that law. So take a look at this. This is clip number 4, talking about our border crisis.
We begin in the ABC 7 Alert Center with breaking news and a warning. You may find the details of this story disturbing. A woman accused in Mexico of several murders and body dismemberments, even removing victims' hearts, is arrested in El Paso. And within the last 10 minutes, ABC 7 obtained this arrest photo. She is Michelle Angelica Pineda, also known as La Cheli. She was wanted for 5 murders in Juarez. She's also suspected of being involved in several other killings. Investigators say she crossed illegally into the U.S. and was operating on behalf of the gang Artistas Asesinos, or assassin artists. The FBI says Pineda was known for extreme brutality, dismembering bodies, removing hearts, and placing the hearts in front of Santa Muerte statues. Authorities say they found guns, machetes, and fentanyl, as well as other drugs at the motel. El Paso's FBI says several law enforcement agencies worked together to arrest Pineda at an El Paso motel.
Wow, so that was crazy. And again, she's not Haitian, but it's just talking about, you know, the various illegals that are coming over here across the border illegally and the type of people that we're dealing with. Now, of course, we're not saying this is everyone, but I mean, a good portion of these people are crazy.
Well, it's going to be tricky, again, with these Haitians coming illegally. It's going to be tricky. Maybe some of them do have legitimate asylum cases. But what's going to be tricky? Why? Because the media are going to make this into a racial, because they look mostly dark-skinned Haitians. So they're going to say they're keeping out the black people. Some people are going to, maybe more than some people, are going to put that forth. So then it's going to become a racial thing.
But that's a legitimate concern, because they're letting they have no problem with the Hispanics coming. But now that the Haitians are starting to come for legitimate reasons, I would think, then it's a problem. And I know actually a community of Haitians that live in Virginia, they're actually upset. They're upset that the Haitians are coming here willy-nilly when they had to do it. They're legal immigrants, and they had to do it the right way. So they don't like that.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, like, a lot of these nations have a lot of problems. I mean, we didn't like when President Trump called them shithole countries, but a lot, I mean, like, seriously, like, Haiti, as it states, not Haitians. Haitians are not shitholes, but that country cannot get it together. When you have Kenya from Africa coming to give you aid,
Yeah. Pot, kettle.
and then the Haitians said, nope, we don't want help from Kenya. I mean, like, they just got a lot of problems. And unfortunately, like, there's another book called Toxic Charity. Same thing. Like, we keep pouring money into these countries when actually these countries don't need money, they need Jesus. Thank God for a Christian nation.
Well, this
plenty of
kind
missionaries.
of charity work, it's socialism. It's global socialism. So it's transferring money from one place to another. And the people who are working in charities, all those employees, they're the ones who are getting paid. They're the ones who want to keep these countries poor.
Yeah.
Because if you keep them poor, then they keep their jobs.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Once those countries begin to develop and develop their own industries, those charities will have to leave and people would lose jobs. So that's what socialism is. It's people who are working in the system, the agencies. They're the ones who are making money, not the people who are being given whatever charity there is. They're actually getting poor. And so we're having people coming in from all over right now through the border from Ukraine. That's another failed state that's going to be a failed state very soon.
Oh, well, I heard they're winning. I heard they're about to overtake Russia, and we just need to give them $5 more billion freaking dollars.
Exactly. There's people coming from Afghanistan, where, basically lost to Taliban. Now, Haiti. So it's a disaster.
It is. It is a true disaster. I want to acknowledge our super chatter, though. We have a super chatter here. Thank you so much. We have here. You want to read that, Shelley? Oh.
Kofi19 says, but haven't the Haitians had elections before?
Yes.
Haven't they historically voted in corrupt leaders?
Yes.
And actually afforded the right to vote?
Yes.
I mean.
Yes. Yes, if I vote them in and they corrupt, then fine. But if you give me them, then I get it.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm all I'm saying is I get it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right.
Totally.
Right.
And actually the same thing in Ukraine, people do not know that actually why the whole thing blew up is because a president that was elected that many people didn't like was ousted by Western government.
This is
and
typical.
another guy was placed, and then half of the country said we don't want him. That's what happens.
This is typical of these shithole countries. Even in Africa, same thing happens.
Yeah.
And I don't know, black folks just can't get it together all over the world.
Something's wrong with
We got a lot of problems.
Something's wrong
We're
with
supposed to be the chosen people, but
Not
I
just
don't
black
know.
people, though. I mean, like Yana said, we're talking about Ukraine. Same thing happens in Gaza. So, I mean, what's the common denominator in these countries are not democratic. Is that right?
And not Christian.
Right, that's true.
They're
too.
not Christian nations.
Well, maybe, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say all
don't
of
think
that.
that'd be
They are
religious.
Christian a lot of times, and
Yeah, a lot of them are.
and democratic, and they think they're democratic. But I think the issue is relying on others, not being self-sufficient.
Exactly.
And not wanting to not believing in free market economy. Maybe believing that socialism will save them.
Which is all
Well, that's just being
non-Christian
lazy.
values.
That's just being
Seriously,
lazy.
like a Christian nation believes in their inalienable rights that are given to them
No,
by
Christian
God.
nations believe in Jesus.
Yeah,
They believe
given by
that.
God. I mean,
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but
I don't think it's
history
anything.
doesn't
to it.
necessarily prove that, what you're saying, Crystal.
We'll move along. Moving on to Congresswoman Cori Bush. So we were talking about this idea of this Biden border crisis. And now we have Cori Bush, who, of course, they always have to blame everything on Trump, even Biden's mishandling of private data, classified data. Take a look at this. This is clip number 2.
Let me start by saying that the potential mishandling of classified information is a serious issue, and I believe it was appropriate for the Attorney General to appoint both special counsels in the Biden and Trump cases. As my colleagues have pointed out, President Biden fully complied with the investigation conducted by Special Counsel Hur, who did not find evidence sufficient to warrant criminal charges. Despite this outcome, Republicans have used the special counsel's report to further their longstanding efforts to re-elect the former white supremacist in chief, Donald Trump, who faces 40 criminal charges related to the mishandling of classified documents, including obstruction of justice.
All right. So again, that was Congresswoman Cori Bush. You know, again,
Is she a woman?
yes, she's a natural woman. Yes, she's a natural woman. So we have a situation here where this special counsel, Robert Hur, told the truth, And now the left is trying to totally annihilate his reputation. Mainstream media want to take him down. We've seen this week. Shelley, what are your thoughts here?
Well, I'm going to repeat what I say regularly. When the left is apoplectic, I am ecstatic. And the fact that Cori Bush is on her, I don't know, her big hairy whatever perch talking about this. First of all, she's not even really stating what the full effect of the decision that prosecutor Hurst gave. He said he didn't find evidence because he couldn't, because you have a demented octogenarian that doesn't know when he's coming or going, and doesn't know other important clues or important pieces of information for him to be able to adequately assess him. So in court, he would just basically get, a jury that's compassionate because of his condition, not because he did not know anything or that he didn't know that he was doing wrong. So that is, again, she's misconstruing, if you will, the whole circumstance. But this is what the left does. They will find any avenue to attack Donald J. Trump. That's it.
Yeah. And basically, I mean, even I have to go even further. They actually found evidence that he mishandled classified information. The issue here was they felt he was just too old and unfit to actually prosecute.
Well, he doesn't need to be our president.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't stand trial and prosecution because of his senility and his applesauce for brains. Crystal, what are your thoughts here?
Well, I don't have any thoughts about this case because I literally do not care, you guys. What I care about, Miss Bush, is that Missouri teen fight where the girl was slamming the little white girl. How about you work on that, Miss Congresswoman, who's supposed to be representing, but you up here caping up for this geriatric man who has done nothing for your state, and it's falling apart, from the schools, from the economy, to the crime, and you sitting up here talking about a white supremacist in chief. Girlfriend, your priorities are all screwed up.
Yeah. I want to get your thoughts on this, T, just with what she said, and then with this case in general.
I'm going to say this every show. These people are sick.
Yes.
Like, literally, something is wrong with them. And I don't understand, again, I'm going to say it every show, why people even take this credible. Like, first of all, she looks like a clown, and I don't even really talk about people's looks, but she literally looks like a clown. What's that lady's name on Drew Carey? They used to have all the
I know you're talking about. I don't know her name.
She looks like a black version of her.
Caricature? Wasn't that Drew Carey acting like the woman?
No, it was a different one.
Okay. But anyway, she looks horrible, and these people, like, what's TDS? They love to bring up. Shelley needs to get her honey, like, just walk around with her honey, because
keep a jar right here.
This is sick. These people are delusional, and they just really, I don't know what it is. They're obsessed with this man, and they just really want to just bring him into anything. This is how he's going to be able to win, because they're the ones keeping his name in their mouths.
Yeah, what are your thoughts
I
on this?
feel the same way. Like, I'm bored at this point.
Right.
Every time it's like white supremacist, Trump. It's like when was he elected the first time?
2016.
Like, literally, since then, that's all I hear.
Well, according to Biden in that paper, he was elected in 2017.
Yeah.
So in that
Biden still thinks he's running for Congress right now.
Can't get
And
over it.
actually, as if he is still president. Like, I think
Yeah.
literally he is still president because they keep bringing him up.
Another angle, KJ, I saw
still
before you
matters.
go on, please. Another angle I was looking at with Cori Bush. Number one, I was looking at her numbers, or she's in a kind of a battle with some of her opponents. So her funding has gone down. Her opponent's funding has gone up.
'Cause she
so
sucks.
she needs people in Missouri. So they're going to keep using these lines, if you will, these tropes, these racist things. Because remember, she supported BLM. She supported defund the police.
While she funded her own.
Her security.
Yes.
Exactly. So they need these lines to get those people that have supported them in the past with these same old tropes, these racist tropes, basically.
gonna be
So they're going
biased.
to do anything that they can to maintain their power.
Yeah. And this case is important, this finding, because this is the same accusation that they pushed out on Trump. and he still has to stand trial for this.
Yes.
So, now we have a situation where Biden he's been found guilty. I mean, these materials included marked classified documents about military and foreign policy in Afghanistan, notebooks containing Mr. Biden's handwritten entries about issues of national security, foreign policy implicating sensitive intelligence sources. FBI agents recovered these materials from the garage, offices, and basement den in Mr. Biden's Wilmington, Delaware home, the report added. I mean, I encourage you guys to check out the transcript.
Yep.
I mean, he said all this in the transcript. So you have a situation where we have a banana republic where these people are going after President Trump for the same thing that Biden did, and he's getting off for it because he's too stupid.
Well, no, he's not getting off because he's too stupid. That's what they want us to believe. He's getting off because same way Hunter Biden laptop got off.
And
what happened to that? Cocaine in the White House. What happened to that? All this stuff. Like, at this point,
I
am just waiting for November.
My thing is, what are the Republicans going to do?
I know.
Like, we can't sit this out and just let them do what they're doing, whatever they want to do. But I'm saying, like, now the small amount of Republicans that can do something, they need to put their feet down and get something done. Like,
Go vote. That's all they
That's all
can
we can
do
do
is
now.
go
Yeah.
vote. Let me tell you
I'm
something.
talking about the people who can make decisions.
They
they're
ain't
having
making
these-
no decisions.
They're having these congressional. They are having a congressional
The hearings.
to show, to kind of keep this in the forefront of people's minds. It does two things. One, it does say how it's so backwards the way that they prosecuted Trump and they're not prosecuting Biden. And then two, it talks about the mental capacity of the president. I mean, when we compare him to Putin, who had the interview with Tucker Carlson just a couple weeks ago, my goodness, Putin was going back in time, centuries. He was
Yes.
able to detail everything that, took place. Now, I don't know how truthful it was, but he certainly painted a picture of a long history where his memory is long. I mean, Biden was forgetting that his son had died. I mean,
Biden went back in history too because he thought he was running for Congress.
Exactly. He thought he was living in that time.
He was running for Congress. So.
Exactly.
yeah, you're right.
He's a bit confused.
The super chat.
Oh,
Read it.
oh yeah. So we have Krista. She says, huge congrats on much deserved 50,000 sisters.
Love you, Krista.
Yes, thanks, Krista. Couldn't have done it without you.
Okay, big dog.
Okay, big dog, O-Town.
Says, understand the Democrats are scared. They know Trump has the soul of America, gaining black and brown voters. Even some black women endorse Trump.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
What I will
Thank you so
say,
much, big dog.
The soul of America is, in the words of Wyclef John, is gone to November. He is gone till November. Like, we're just waiting for him
I
to
thought
come
she was
back.
going to say, someone please call.
Yes, that part.
Yeah. All right. So we'll definitely continue to follow this story and keep it on the forefront of Americans' minds. I mean, talk to your friends that actually are voting for Biden and just ask them, I mean, is this something they want to have for the next 4 years? We have so much going on or can go on. I mean, with China, with Russia, with who else knows these adversarial countries. And then we have this man in the White House. It's terrible.
Yeah.
2020 all over again.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Well, it's worse now, actually.
Yeah, it's actually worse because he's getting older. All right, so we're moving right along to The View. So this is a clip. The View was talking about singer and songwriter Lily Allen this week. She's garnering attention for comments she made on the challenges of balancing a career with motherhood. She says, and I quote, "I never really have a strategy when it comes to career, but yes, my children ruined my career," Allen said, laughing on the Radio Times podcast Tuesday. She says, "I mean, I love them and they completely, but in terms of pop stardom, totally ruined it." Allen, 38, who shares 2 daughters with ex-husband Sam Cooper, says she chose to step back from her career to focus on raising her kids. So in this clip, the View ladies talk about why someone would do that and whether or not that's the case with motherhood and career. Take a look. This is clip number 3.
It's hard.
You're cute and submissive.
It's hard. I am a man repellent. It's hard. Because all I do is go to gay events and drag shows and
anything to make a buck, save a buck. Anything to make a buck.
it's hard.
Go ahead, babe.
Do you think that men are asking themselves this question?
No.
No.
But if you are, my kid came before my career, and I chose my career because I knew this would never happen again.
Yeah.
So there are, she didn't always like it, but that is the process of being a parent.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to like everything.
And you gave her a better life.
And I gave her, well, I hope
Pretty good.
but the idea was I never didn't travel with my kid.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I wasn't
And
famous,
you're
when we
very
went on
close.
tour, she sat in that theater with me.
Yeah.
Wherever I went, she went. So it depends on what you're able to do when you're able to do it.
Isn't this what Hillary Clinton said, it takes a village, and they went after her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you have a family around a child, they have the support system. But, I just want to quote, I want to quote Jackie Kennedy. She said, if you bungle raising your children, I don't think whatever else you do matters very much.
It's true.
And then I would like to quote my daughter, Eve, who said, you give up your life so that they may live.
All right, so I wanted to kind of talk about their response. Again, their response to the idea of balancing career and motherhood. Can women have it all, or is there a balance? I mean, you heard what Whoopi said. She said that she chose her career over motherhood. What are your thoughts, Shelley?
So this question has been a perennial question. I mean, since Eve gave birth in the garden, okay? It's never ending. Can you have it all, or can a woman have it all? I would say no. And when I say that with humility, in that I understand that some people, we have to work inside the home, outside the home, whatever. But in life, real life, no one can have it all. And certainly not all the time. You may have all the birthday cake and then you really don't because you share that. But when it comes to children, something's going to give. There's the law of physics. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So no, and that's just a fact. That's not to put down women. That's not to say that children are not important. You can't have it all. If you work, particularly outside the home, for an income, then you are going to lose time with your children. If you choose to be a homemaker, then you're going to lose time in the market. That's just a fact.
I want to get your thoughts on this, Crystal, because what I thought was interesting is these women, every week they're on here and they're pushing independent woman, pushing abortion on demand, pushing the idea that, you can be single. They're not really advocates of marriage. And then you have this situation where you're trying to balance career and motherhood. Yeah. So aren't they kind of making it more harder for that?
Yeah, these women have gotten so used to nobody holding them accountable for their words, and they literally talk to people who, if you're watching The View, I'm sorry, you have no brain, because like Whoopi Goldberg literally just, all of them advocated for career and family, which was kind of, she said, oh, I chose my career, but I took my daughter everywhere. No, sweetie. You took your daughter everywhere. You chose your daughter. Like, I just think that they just say stuff to kind of sound like acceptable. It's almost like, oh yeah, I like 6 and I like half a dozen. Like, that's what they're trying to do because they have no soul. The fact of the matter is you can't, as Shelley said, you cannot have everything, whether you're a man or a woman. Like, you cannot. And every human being on this planet, if you do not choose family, you are a sad and lonely person. I don't care who tells you anything different. And that conversation should have been done right there. Nothing else to talk about.
Okay, I want to get your thoughts on this, T, specifically to when Joy said, we don't hear men having this conversation. So she's trying to say that men don't have to choose motherhood or career. What are your thoughts on that kind of angle that she took there?
First of all, she's not a man, and no man wants to be near her. So, of course, she's not going to hear men having this conversation. But this is the most and they try to make it woman independence or whatever, but it's the most anti-male, patriarchal conversation, and they're trying to push that narrative that we don't need men. No man was ever brought up into this conversation. It was career and child. So they didn't mention a man nowhere, a husband anywhere, because I'm surprised that Whoopi even has a child, to be honest, if she didn't adopt. No. Like, who would be up in there?
Sister girl.
So, right. So, as the only, I think, unmarried mother on the panel, it's an honorable thing to be able to raise your child. I was married and I was a homemaker, and my children, when they started school, that's when I was able to get back, really just recently, about 5 years ago, into what I wanted to go back and do. So, but fortunately, I put family first, and I put my children first, and still do. But I put marriage first. Like, how about that one? First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes the baby and the baby carriage. And we're skipping that whole process, just going from career to women. And there are a lot of women like that. There are a lot of women till this day are single because they chose career first and not children and man. And now they're trying to make up for it on the back end, and they're too old or men aren't available.
Listening to people like The View.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this, Yana, just from a perspective of how we have a situation where we do have a climate where marriage is not valued, marriage is not even encouraged at these days, but we do have a lot of motherhood. I mean, how does this dynamic as far as balancing the career and motherhood there?
Well, one of the things that these women did not mention at all is the children themselves. They didn't talk about how the children are being affected by their choices. They talked about themselves and whether they chose the career or the child and whether the career was ruined. They didn't talk about the kids and how their choices affected them. We have a crisis of children in education. They are struggling. They have all sorts of emotional issues right now, and I can see that every day. And children who, first of all, not from single parent households, they're the ones that are suffering the most. But also, these kids, they go home from school and they don't even see a parent. They see a babysitter or someone just watching them.
Food.
They're not interacting with these kids. It's so important for a child to have a constant interaction with someone who cares about them, who can teach them how to be a normal human being. And right now we're lacking that. So one of the things that women used to do is being that support system, that person that the child can always turn to. And we don't have that. So I think the most important thing, if they care about their kids, they need to be with their kids. The career, it's gonna take career is different from a job too.
Yes.
So having a job, if you have to have a job, sure, take a job because you need to make money and then go to your family. Yeah. Career, you have to put your entire being into it. You can't have both. So children will suffer.
Yeah. I think, well, I mean, not to get into this is in the weeds. Again, some women will have to work, work. Not even if they don't have to, they will. Because I see 5 women on this panel, like you said, children, marriage, whatever, and we're working.
Yeah, but it's
I'm saying we haven't just quote unquote made a decision to
until I
only do
find a
one or
husband.
the other. We are finding some ways to balance, and I'm saying that totally aware that even in that attempt to balance, that something is still going to be lacking one way or the other.
Yeah, but we're in a soulless society where it has nothing to do with the woman trying to have work. Because I know a lot of people down the street up North Avenue in Baltimore that stay home all freaking day with badass Tyrone, and they ain't got no career, and Tyrone is still a mess.
They have our taxpayer dollars paying for them.
Exactly. So what to me the most important thing is choose to prioritize your child, whether you work. But don't work for some soulless company, as Tucker Carlson says, that makes you try to choose them and answering their phones and their needs and their board meetings to soothe your own insecurities. choose your family every single time. And that can even be with a job.
And when you choose your family or choose your children, or well, family, but children, since we're speaking about that, we need to remember the difference between maintaining your child and raising your child. Because you can feed and cook for a dog.
Yes.
But you raise your children to be, as Yana said, productive, not even citizens, but just good people.
Right.
And so we miss that as well. We think we can, they get food or they got shelter. Duh, they should.
Three
Kids
hats and a
are
cot.
having problems right now. I'm telling you, they're on TikTok. Most of the day, like at night.
Oh, I believe you.
Like literally elementary school kids, they're watching stuff that is absolutely not appropriate
And that's
for them.
China's fault.
And
Yana, I believe you. I see toddlers who know how to work a cell phone better than I do. I mean, literally, their little fingers.
That's China's fault too.
Well, that's not very
the
hard.
time.
and the mothers are not there.
And that must be China's fault too. Let's just do that.
It's a day and time because children are entitled. Because parents coddle them, they're entitled. They don't know how to do anything themselves. They're spoiled. They haven't worked for anything because we're like, because we've made it easy. We've made it easy for our children.
Because parents don't want to be bothered. Also, yes, when you come home tired from your career and you don't want to be there teaching a kid how to do something, how to, I don't know, even do their homework together, because that can take hours.
That's not not true when you prioritize your
Right.
family. I don't care how
So
tired
I'm just
you are.
saying, if you're putting everything in your career, I cannot imagine that you can go home and then give your all to your child. You're gonna say, okay, go play on your whatever device because I need a break.
Something's going to give one way or the other.
Yeah, something.
And I think
You don't get a second chance. You don't get a second chance to raise your children. And so I can think of 1,000 excuses that women give every single day as to why they are a sorry, sucky mother. And that and the results of that are irreversible. And once we get that through our thick skulls, then maybe we will do differently.
Yeah. We're seeing it play out in many.
We have a
Yes, we do. I want to acknowledge our super chatters tonight. Thank you so much, Jeff Arrington. Wow. Thank you so much, Jeff. We certainly appreciate that. Cynthia, she says,
Biden was a senator the first time he took classified docs. Then as VP, what did he say? Did he have dementia then? So prosecute the man. The View, the dumbest women on TV, raising children is an honor. And they look down on moms, in my opinion. She just said a little out of there. But thank you, Cynthia.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Cynthia, where are you from?
I adore you, ladies.
I adore you, ladies, and everything you stand for. Thank you, Sam. I hope more people find you and listen.
Okay.
So do we.
50K. We need
Keep them
100K.
coming. Yeah, that's right. You got our 50K.
Yeah, definitely we do. We have our 50,000 subscribers. That's what we're celebrating tonight, guys. Yay. We are thanking you. It's all for you. All you guys did this, and we so appreciate it. And thank you. Thank you for joining this movement. As I always say, this is not just a podcast. It is a movement of God-fearing, God-loving, country, United States-loving, truth-seeking people. So thank you. Again, Big Dog.
Conservative views turned my kids against me.
What? Actually, not alone.
Yeah, because society gets to them.
TikTok
and China.
Yeah. I mean, the algorithm.
Dog,
I mean, when you definitely work it out with your kids. But I mean, with this social media, I mean, definitely parents need to keep their kids off of social media. But I think sometimes it's easier said than done. But it's all geared to do this. I mean, just the algorithm within. We were talking about TikTok earlier, but just using that one as an example, it's got an algorithm which they won't share. That's made to addict kids to the program, the platform. So
we just gotta prioritize family, prioritize our kids. Big Dog, work it out with your kids. I'm telling you, not Trump, not Biden, not anybody is worth that relationship. So if I humble myself every single time when I talk to my liberal friends, and we just got to do that.
And this is why we bring these issues up to the forefront, to be aware and prepare. You need to remember that these things are going on, but we're trying to bring it out to you so you'll know, and you can go to your communities and go to your families and try to work it out. Try to be better at whatever, conservatism.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And they will hear you eventually. With young people, they may not act like they're listening.
They are.
But they're listening.
Oh, for sure.
And eventually something will click. They will hear the same kind of message from someone else, maybe somebody younger, and they'll think, oh, my grandpa, my dad said that at some point.
Or they'll see it.
Well,
they'll see it happen.
See it eventually. So we have to keep talking. They're listening.
JKP62, thank you.
Thank you.
Yana, I'm sorry, you're right, because my child, I know that she hears me, because when she goes to school and tells the teachers the things that I say, and but actually they clap for it. They be like, tell your mom, yes.
My son says, Mom, you're going to be canceled. He's already used to it.
Well, my oldest, just turned 18, and she was so proud to say, I enrolled as a Democrat. I'm like, you'll learn.
I know. You'll keep living, baby.
Keep living. And I say everything we say on the show. She hears it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But you have to let them find their own too. Yeah. You don't want to force anything on them. You just want to prepare them.
Cycle, like we had to go through that.
Yeah.
I know, ex-Democrat. We need to do our walk away stories.
Oh, yeah. For 50,000, we did have one more topic here. But you know what? We'll do our walk away stories just so you can kind of introduce yourself. Oh, you want to do a special?
Let's do a special. No, so we can really, we'll have to run.
Well, KJ already said it. Now they waiting.
I know.
You got to wait till.
Well, no, we can do it next. I mean, we can
really. We want to tell y'all.
Teaser. We can tell.
A teaser. We can do a teaser tonight. Let's do a teaser.
Okay, we'll do it.
Shelly, you used to start.
Why? And what was why
the walk? Yeah, why'd you walk away from the the Democrat Party?
Oh, okay. Long story short, when I came home from the military, or at least while I was there, two things kind of was in my mind, like, things are just not adding up. One of the questions came, wait a minute, my family, people that I know older than me have been voting this way for a long time. Just about all the people in the community, the politicians, were Democrat. But I kept seeing more people on drugs. The schools were getting worse at that time, because after I left, they got worse. But the things just were not adding up. And then one of the things that really stuck in my mind when I went in the military, I don't know, it dawned on me some kind of way that, wait a minute, I've been told that white people were the enemy, they were the devils. But yet when I was in the military, for whatever reason, we bonded. It didn't make a difference what skin color we were. And it was a true bond, maybe because we were all in foxholes, so to speak. But it kind of started shaping my thinking. So that's the long and short of it.
And then I want to ask one additional question, very quickly, not long-winded. Why are you voting for Trump?
Why am I voting for Trump? Because he's a fighter. He's an American. He's a patriot. He loves our country. He's a businessman. And he doesn't just kiss ass, if at all.
All right, T, so why did you walk away from the Democrat Party?
Well, a long, long time ago, as some may know, I'm a native Floridian, and I used to work for the Democratic Party of Florida and as a political consultant. And I saw a lot of things that I didn't really like, but I used to walk to the precincts with my grandmother. Like my family, we're voters. We love the jury duty. We love to vote. Like we'll put in our time. And so when I'm working for the Democratic Party of Florida, I'm seeing things and I'm hearing things, and I don't agree. I'm realizing I don't agree with most of the stuff these people are saying. So I actually took a look. Because automatically when I turned 18, Democratic Party. But I actually took a look and compared Democratic Party and the Republican Party. And I'm like, wait a minute. Am I a Republican? Yes, darn it, I'm a Republican. And immediately I went out, because I'm not hypocritical. So immediately I went out and I switched my party. And ever since then, some of my family members have come over to this side because I talk sense and they have sense. So they're like, well, you know what? She has a point there. And so, I've saved some souls.
All right. And then why are you voting for Trump? In short.
I'm voting for Trump because I think that the country was in a better position when he was the president. Yeah. We didn't give him a fair chance. Yeah. So I want to see what he does this time with a fair chance.
All right, and Yana, before I start with you, I want to acknowledge the super chatter.
Who that?
Big Dog again. Thank you.
Left Blue Plantation in 2012. Agenda went far left. Was that was Obama, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people woke up under Obama. All right, Yana.
And that's a good point that they went far left. So a lot of people who are turning to the Republican Party, they're so-called left behind Democrats. So or liberal,
moderate
Democrats. Used to be called
Conservative Democrats.
Classical liberals.
Classical liberals,
So people who believed in liberties and freedoms and not in communism. And so that's where the Democrat Party has gone to, is more and more left. And for me, I was at some point I was very apolitical. So during Obama, and I guess when it was like the first Trump election, I was like a hippie kind of person.
Not you.
I was into like new age stuff, and I was going to like all these kind of like voodoo places and
alternative religion,
alternative things. And I was like going to these events, the meditation events, and I was very free spirited. And so then I guess what started to turn me towards politics and then looking into the different parties was I dated a Marxist.
Oh, that's why.
Okay, that's
it makes sense now.
Funny.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I was so free spirited. I can talk to anyone. I can
live with her.
I can connect with anyone. And then I was like, oh no. And everything came out. Like all the hate towards Marxists came out because I'm from Russia. Like Marxists destroyed my country. I hate Marxists and I hate everything that they did. So, and when I started researching, I needed material to argue with this guy, and so I would research and I would read, and then people would tell me, "Oh, you should read Thomas Sowell." Okay,
that'll get you.
All right, I'll read it so I can have arguments, and then I would watch, the conservative YouTubers like.
There we go.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah, you're back. Yeah.
Okay. So it kind of opened my eyes. So like it just snowballed, and at first I said, okay, I'm a libertarian, and so I was kind of like moving towards the Republican Party, and so that was eventually I just realized, I kind of developed my new identity with that.
Right. And why are you voting for Trump in like 10 seconds?
He's a strong leader, and we need that.
All right. What about you, Crystal? Your walkaway story?
My walkaway story is kind of similar to T. Like, we were very much a voting family. Like, I was told, like, from the very beginning, like, you are a Democrat. I went to HBCU. I'm Black. Republicans are for the rich white people, and Democrats are for you, poor Black girl. And that's what I knew. And I would knock on doors for Barack Obama. Let me tell you, yes, we can. Yes, we can. I would travel. I'm telling you, I was all up in the Kool-Aid. And I remember when Trump won in 2020, they lied to me because MSNBC always told me the truth. They said he can never win. And then I looked in all the other news station, Trump can never win. And then I woke up the morning of 2016 and he won. And that was the first lie. They always say that ex-Democrats, you get one lie and then all the lies started going together. And in most of my adult life, I had lived in Republican-led states and I was a Democrat. In 2019, 2020, moved to the wonderful Democrat state, and I got to live with all the policies that I loved so much. And I quickly turned Republican. Gladly turned Republican. And voting for Trump.
Oh, Lord.
Because he did a good job. It's literally just that simple. When you do a good job, you get to keep your job and you get reelected. He's fantastic.
All right.
And also, I want to say January 6th, prisoners, he said that he's going to pardon them. So, that needs to happen. I'm glad that he said that. I've been waiting for that.
January 6th hostages.
Yes.
Patriots.
All right. My stories are similar to you guys. I mean, I think one thing we kind of have similarities about is the Democrat Party is a party of liars. So my walkaway moment was that they lied. I realized they lied. You know, I was really into politics. I'm a poli-sci major in college, always in politics, was a hardcore Democrat. I worked on multiple campaigns. My last Democratic campaign was Bernie Sanders. I was a big Bernie person. And then when I found out that the Democrat Party was working to get Hillary elected behind the scenes, they weren't even giving him a primary, a fair primary. I just got disenfranchised totally. And you see them, Democrats always say Republicans disenfranchise blacks. Well, they disenfranchised me with that. And so from there, I kind of started to wake up a little bit. But then what really woke me up is one night, it was around 1 a.m. I'm a night owl. And I was watching TV and I saw a program with Glenn Beck, and he was talking about all the achievements that Black Americans have done for the United States. And it blew my mind because I was like, he's a racist. That's what MSNBC told me. CNN always told me. Yeah, Black Americans. He talked about how Black Americans were so instrumental in Black history, in his history of America. And so when I saw this, I was like, what? And so I started researching him and I started watching his program and his chalkboard and him breaking down the issues. And I was like, this guy's smart, you know, he's conservative, and I actually agree with a lot of things he's saying, and he's a Christian. And I liked how he was including biblical principles in the conservative movement and things like that. And so that just kind of opened my eyes to everything. He's still to this day my favorite conservative pundit. I still watch him faithfully. I'm a Blaze subscriber. And so that just kind of opened my eyes, and I'm like this big conservative now. And so as far as Trump is concerned, I am voting for Trump because the same thing most of you guys said. He did a great job. He was a great president for the last 4 years. Did I love everything about him? No. But I think he was a very good president. My life was much better under Trump. I made more money under Trump. My family thrived under Trump. So I am going to vote for him again because he was the best thing for my family, my community, and that's why I'm voting for him. Yeah. So
yeah, I think it's good that we did this tonight or whenever we do it, because I think a lot of our audience here and abroad, I mean further away, I think some of them think that we just, we kind of like born, quote unquote, born into conservatism, right? And that we just, we think we got it all made or whatever. I don't, we don't. And like, as you can see, we've all gone through Democrat, Libertarian. I've been there, apolitical, like Yana said. So we're real people. And I'm not trying to sell us per se, but if you know us, you know that we're just real people, and we have gone through the political spectrum, if you will, and we speak about the issues with such passion because we live them. Yeah. We're not just talking at you. We're talking about things that we have experiences that we experience and that we continue to experience.
And one of the most interesting things that I've experienced was I'm still friends with these Democratic people. I'm still socially, in my family, I still talk to them. We still have discussions, and even people that are in politics. And it's still interesting how they agree with most of the things that I'm saying.
But still going to check that D.
Want to vote. They still want to check the D and ride the D. So this is what I'm saying. Like, they're crazy.
Yeah. It's just, I think it's, and we know we have to go, but I just think that the culture, the media, people are so what do you call it? just
entrenched
and hypnotized, I should say.
Yeah,
Hypnotized
good word.
by this stuff. It is very hard to break out of it. I know one time I was talking to a guy, and he was saying, we are all, most Americans are predispositioned to the left. Most people don't wake up or are born conservative.
Of course
so you really have to fight and to get to the truth, to research, to get to the right, and the right of politics, and on the right side, I would say. Right. And so, it just takes that. It takes generally, and a lot of us have already been through it, one thing that makes you question it, one thing that you were so passionate about as far as being on the left, and you realize that it was a lie or you were misinformed. And then the rabbit hole starts, and you start to figure out, oh, well, that wasn't the only thing. This was a lie. This was a lie. This was a lie. And you wake up, and then one day you're conservative.
I know you said we gotta go, KJ, real quick. One of the comments earlier was that I guess the man who said his family kind of disowned him. Children. It's interesting because even us here, we can all attest that we have never cut off someone because they were a Democrat.
Yeah.
But we have been cut off, lost friendships, long-term friendships, maybe some family members, because we had chosen to not be a Democrat, be on the right or Republican, conservative, whatever. So it really goes one way in that sense.
I've never experienced that somebody cut me off because they want me in their lives.
We get called the names and stuff.
But
too, right?
yeah, but I just find it interesting that people think that conservatives are bland, especially they're bland. They don't know how to party. We have a good time. We turn up just as much as anyone else. And you can clearly see here that we're not lame. So, conservative women especially are like, we're
the shit.
All
right. So that brings us to the end of the show.
Final words.
Oh, yeah, final words. Sure, final words. You start, Chris.
Free Andrew Tate.
Oh, he's back?
And the Tate brothers.
Yeah, I think
man, can y'all just leave them guys alone? I freaking am so... Why am I taking this so personally that they keep arresting these guys?
Because they're trying to get them.
Ooh. Sorry. I had to say that.
That's fine. Final words, Shelly.
I don't know. I'm gonna say strap up and get educated.
T, final words.
I'm good. Happy Women's International Month.
Yeah, that's what that is. It's so hard, isn't it?
Yes.
Final words, y'all.
Take care of your kids. Stay home with your kids. They're suffering. They need more of your time.
All right. And I'll just say, count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.
Be aware and prepare.
She had the final word.
Sorry.